Will you lose any of your stuff if you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy? New York edition. One of the biggest things that keeps people from even talking to a bankruptcy lawyer is they think that they're going to lose something of value, their car, their house, their money, whatever. So instead of getting the protection offered by the law, they just continue to suffer financially. I've been a bankruptcy lawyer for 30 years and I represent people in New York and California. So today we're going to talk about what you get to keep if you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in New York. I'm going to do a separate video for California, but every state has different rules. Ready? Okay, so let's do it. Here are the facts. When you file for bankruptcy, you get to exempt or keep certain property and belongings. What you get to keep is spelled out either in state law or federal law. And if you're in New York, you get to pick between both state and federal law. You get to choose the set of laws that works best for you. If you own your own home, the New York State homestead exemption protects up to $204,825 of equity if your home is in New York City, Long Island, Westchester, or Putnam counties. That number drops to $170,700 in Albany, Dutchess, Columbia, Orange, Saratoga, and Ulster counties. And for every other county, you can protect up to $102,400 in homestead equity. You can also protect up to $4,825 in vehicle equity or $11,975 if the vehicle is disability equipped. And you get to keep all the money in your pension plan, IRA, 401k, Social Security, disability benefits, and unemployment. And these aren't the only assets you can protect using the New York State bankruptcy exemptions, but those are the highlights and those are the ones that people are most concerned about more often than not. Now, if you don't own your home or you just don't have a lot of equity that you need to protect, the federal exemptions are sometimes going to be better for you. Federal exemptions protect up to $31,575 of home equity, which isn't nearly as good as the state exemptions. Your retirement funds and about $5,025 in equity in your vehicle are also safe. You can also protect up to $16,850 worth of household goods, furnishings, clothing, and personal items. But here's where the federal rules shine. You get something called the wild card exemption. This is an exemption that you can use for anything that's not covered by another exemption. The federal wild card is $1,675 plus up to $15,800 of any unused homestead equity amount. That doesn't exist under New York state law, so it's kind of a trade-off between the homestead exemption under state law and the wild card exemption under federal law. So will you lose any of your stuff if you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy case in New York? It kind of depends. It depends on what the value is of your stuff and which exemption scheme you're going to be using. And remember, if neither one of the exemption schemes are going to protect what you want to protect, your solution is either to file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy or just explore non-bankruptcy options. Remember, you're in control. If you've got any questions about your debts and are thinking about filing for bankruptcy, get in touch. You know where to find me.